What a wonderful freaking day. Let's just text me. Bruh. Dude, this guy, oh my god, this guy's not even president anymore. Why is he even texting me? Dude, I'm freaking sick and tired of this. Like, for real, you give someone your phone number. What the heck is going on? Oh my god, dude, for real, dude, I'm Barack Obama. I'm sick and tired of your stuff, man, for real. Hey, what's up, man? Like, honestly, I don't understand. Like, President Obama, me and him are cool and everything. I just don't understand why he's got to do stuff like that. But basically, today we're talking about the iPhone 5C. Thanks for the US government for sending it out. I appreciate it. Now, I do want to implement a new thing. So, like, Doug DeMuro, if you guys don't know, he does this thing for cars where he, like, sets a score and he gives it its own score and stuff like that. So, I kind of want to do the same thing. I'm calling it the Alpaca score. And pretty much, I break the phone into 5 categories: body, camera, performance, gaming, and battery life. Those are the main things that I usually see in a phone. And I kind of want to give it a score out of 10 and then calculate all those things up to 50 and then get a percentage about basically how good this phone is in 2018. This is just a test thing. We're going to see how it rolls in this video, but I think it's pretty cool. So the iPhone 5C came out in 2013. It came out alongside the iPhone 5S. So, you know, you'd think it would last as long as the iPhone 5S, but it didn't. I have super strong feelings about this specific iPhone, the iPhone 5C, but I will talk about it in a later video. But pretty much this is the same thing as the iPhone 5, which came out a year earlier than this. The C stood for color. So like Apple had to do, you know, that minority thing, and they couldn't just have one color. They had to have multiple colors. But body looks kind of old still. You have to give it that. So I would say I would give it a 4.5 out of 10 on the body. It does have a 4-inch screen on the front, a 1.2 megapixel camera up front as well, and an 8 megapixel camera on the back. And honestly, it's not too bad, I'll admit. I could definitely survive from it, but it doesn't have too many features. It doesn't have slow-mo. It can shoot 1080p video, but it only taps out at 30 frames per second. And the overall camera app is actually kind of glitchy a little bit, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Probably like a 5.5 out of 10 on the camera. And turning it on, we have iOS 10.3.3, which honestly isn't that old if you think about it. But iOS 10.3.3, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions as well, was probably the best version of iOS. So this one and the iPhone 5 left off on a good note. And overall fluidity isn't that bad either. It does have the Apple A6 chip, which is the same thing as the iPhone 5. And the iPhone 5 and this are pretty much clocked at the same speeds as well. But it isn't too bad, dude. Honestly, if I had to, I could probably use this daily for a little bit. I don't know how long I would be able to use it for, but it just goes to show how important having solid software can be. iOS 11, as you all know, is probably not a good place for the iPhone 5S to end. But for the iPhone 5C and iPhone 5, they're super reliable phones. Now, it does only have 1 GB of RAM, which for a phone this old isn't too bad, but don't expect to have a lot of apps in the background. I think if you're going to get this phone this day and age, your demands aren't that high. Overall performance score, I would probably give it a 5.7 out of 10. Gaming isn't too bad either, but just remember that some games are not supported on this thing anymore, and moving forward, less and less games are being supported. So I never really thought about this until Fortnite released, because Fortnite requires at least iOS 11, and even if the phone is capable of playing the game, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will actually be able to play it since it doesn't have the correct software for it. Overall gaming though, I would probably give it a 5 out of 10. Interesting thing to note though about this, it has a bigger battery than the iPhone 5. Not by much though, but it's kind of weird. I always thought they were pretty much in the same category in terms of battery life, but the overall battery life isn't too bad on here. I will say that I found better battery life on my iPhone 5C than on my iPhone 5, which was weird, but I'm pretty sure my iPhone 5's battery is deteriorated a little bit. It doesn't have the capability to see if, you know, how much is deteriorated like on iOS 11.3 does. But even having better battery life, I probably still couldn't make it through a day on my usage, but it isn't too bad, honestly. Realistically, I probably give the battery 5.5 out of 10. And I just realized that this is an iPhone 5C, and a lot of the scores I gave out was 5s, which is kind of weird. I'm not trying to offend anybody, like honestly, like I'm just trying to be your guys' friend. But the overall score that I calculated, I did some analysis and diagrams, some statistical work, and I got 26.2 out of 50. Even doing more division in chemistry, I found out to be 52.4%, which is failing. I mean, honestly, for me, that's a pretty good score in terms of exams and homework and stuff. But that score is still over 50%, and in my opinion, it might have failed. Okay, I'll give it that, but it doesn't mean that it's unusable. If your means are low and you don't need a super intensive phone and the camera quality isn't important, then this isn't a bad option. I would highly not recommend using this phone for more than 6 months though. Like if you need a decent backup phone or like a trap phone or something, you can use this on the side. There's no problem with that. Especially if your phone breaks, this is not a bad option. It still has all the iMessage, iCloud features. Not all of them. It doesn't have iMessage in the cloud or anything, but it's not a bad option. But if you need a phone that you're going to use for more than 6 months, definitely 100% look elsewhere. Honestly, get an iPhone SE. That thing will last you at least like 2 more years. I will leave a link in the description for an iPhone SE, and I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this new scoring system. It's a little bit different, but I feel like it gives a more accurate representation than me blurting some stuff out. And hopefully I can like rank these phones with like another phone, because I'm sure the iPhone 5 should have a lower score than the iPhone 5C, but I guess we'll just see. I don't know. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments. I read every single comment, so if you leave it down there, I'm gonna read it. If you guys leave something nice, then I'll try to give you a virtual hug. But if you're already down there, hit that subscribe button, dude. We're pretty close to 40,000 subscribers, which is insane. We're trying to get to 100,000 by the end of this year. Pretty sure it's gonna happen, but I need you guys' support in order to do so. Please hit that subscribe button if it's possible. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.